Hey everyone, I'm Sanika Patil. I welcome you all to the yet another amazing session of Coders Evoke. So I feel today's session gonna be very interesting because nowadays blockchain and Web3 are very blooming technologies in this giant world. And also we are having an amazing speaker with us, Uttam Singh. So I'll give a short intro about Uttam. So he was an MLH fellow 2021 and currently he's an engineer and product intern at Polygon and he is a speaker and he's a part of many big communities like CodeChef and Postman, etc. So I think we shouldn't waste any further time now. So without any delay, I'll request Uttam to take over this session. Over to you, Uttam.
Uh, okay. Hi, Sanika. Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and I hope this session is going to be amazing. And shout out to Coders Work for inviting me, and they're doing such awesome work. So do follow them on YouTube as well, and do join their Discord community. Awesome. So I guess, and thanks a lot, Sanika, for that introduction. And yeah, if you think we should wait for people to join or we should start with it, just let me know.
I think we should wait for 2-3 minutes and then you can go with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Waiting for people. So if anybody is having any, if they are not good with English or they are not, comfortable with English or Hindi, just let me know which language you want me to use. I'm good with Hindi or English, or I can also use mix. I really don't think language should be a barrier. So feel free to write in the comments if you are not comfortable with English or Hindi. Just let me know, or I will go with English. Uh, awesome. Mix. Okay. Awesome. Hi Pushpak, hi Vibhav, hi Tejas. Hi Anas, hi, how are you? Hi Hartaj, hope you are doing well. Sarthak Gupta, hi Rish, hope you are doing well. Hello everyone, we will be starting in just a minute. We are waiting for everyone to join in. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining. Awesome. Sanika, so should we start or should wait for 2 more minutes? Okay. Awesome. So let's get started with today's session. So thanks a lot everyone for joining. I am Uttam Singh and I am here to explain you and give you an introduction about blockchain and Web3. Nowadays, people are everyone talking about blockchain and crypto and everything. And if you are not sure, I will surely trust you that after attending this session, you will be knowing what is blockchain and what is Web 3.0. If you are in the hype and you don't know anything about blockchain or anything about Web 3.0 and you wanted to know what is it, then definitely this session is going to be amazing. So let's get started with our session, that is introduction to blockchain and Web 3.0. So let's just see what is today's agenda. So first of all, I will be going to explain you guys about me and what I do, who am I, and what I do. Other than that, then we will start with our session, that is introduction to blockchain. So firstly, we will understand what is actually blockchain and how it actually works. We will not be going a lot deeper because it is a whole new topic, but definitely you will be knowing what actually is blockchain. Other than that, then we will be decoding like Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. So to understand Web 3.0, we should also understand what is Web 1.0 and what was in Web 2.0, right? Understanding the past is very important, and what was the need, like what was actually the problem with Web 2.0. So Web 3.0 has to come, right? And then we will be understanding what is Web 3.0, and then we will be discussing what are the future scopes in Web 3.0 and the blockchain, and we will be also discussing the opportunity. So if you are here looking for a job, if you are engineer, or if you are anyone, if you want to make career in Web 3 and blockchain, I will be sharing some opportunities that you can apply to, and I will be also sharing what is the future scope and how you can get started with it. Awesome. And also after that, we will be having any Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can just write in the comments, and I will try to answer them. And if you are not comfortable here, you can DM me on Discord or any other Twitter or LinkedIn. So let's get started with our session, and let's see first of all who am I and what I do. Okay, so I am Uttam Singh. I'm right now working as an engineer and product intern at Polygon Matic Network. So if you're not aware of Polygon, Polygon is a scaling solution for Ethereum, and it is one of the unicorn of India and doing some awesome work. Also, awesome. So also that I'm also an incoming MyTech's Global Link research intern at Blockchain Only. So in this summer, I will be in Canada, and it is sponsored by the government of Canada. So I will be doing my research in blockchain in this summer 2022. So hopefully, if Corona doesn't ruin it, I will be in Canada this summer. Awesome. I'm also a DevRel engineer and working at Crypto Capable. I also graduated from MLH fellowship this last year, 2021, and I'm right now involved with a lot of communities. Like I'm a Binance campus builder, I'm a Postman student leader, I'm also a AWS community builder program, and I was also involved with CodeChef chapter lead. You can connect with me on Twitter or on LinkedIn, wherever you feel free. Just DM me and I will surely try to reply you. So yeah, you can surely connect with me on Twitter. Here's my Twitter handle, and that also on LinkedIn. Awesome. So let's get started with our session, that is introduction to blockchain. So let's actually understand what is blockchain, right? So what is blockchain, right? So let's just divide these words. One is block and the other is chain, right? So let's just divide these words. So what is a block, right? You can see in your screen that here is a block, right? So what is this block? So this block is just a simple block that will be containing data. I hope you all are aware of data. Data can be anything, like if you're chatting with someone, your chat can be a data, or anything will be data, right? So this block will contain data, right? So it is very simple, right? So let's just, we divided it. So we are now understanding what is block. So block is just a simple block, and there in the block, there will be some data, and there will be other things as well, right? So let's just actually see, like, so here is the block, and let's say it contains of three things. You can see, first of all, it will be the data, and the second thing will be previous hash, and then will be hash. So what are these things, right? So now we have a single block, and in the block there are three things. Okay, so let's just say that there is data, right? And it is right now in the data, it is just a string. It is just a simple string. I'm not going to give something very very tough. It is a very simple string, that is hello world. It is our data. So this data is stored in our block, right? In this block there is a data hello world that is stored in our block, right? Now the second thing is the previous hash. So what is previous hash? It is just a value, right? We will get back to it in a second. So right now previous hash is just a value. Don't get deeper into it. We will get back to it, right? And the third thing is the hash, right? Now what is hash, right? Hash is also just a value, like it is just like a fingerprint. Like, so what is right, what happens with fingerprint is that every human has a different fingerprint, right? So similarly, the hash is also different. The hash of the every block will be different. So right now, consider this hash as a fingerprint. Okay. So hash is nothing, but it's just a fingerprint of that block, like the security, right? So if you don't give your fingerprint, like for example, you right now we also use mobile, there are fingerprint security. So if you do not use your fingerprint, the mobile is not going to open, and your fingerprint is going to be different. Nobody in the world which will have the same fingerprint as you. Similarly, there in the blockchain there is a hash, and this hash value is always different, right? So consider now, like, hash is just a fingerprint, right? So okay, so hash is also just taking and how hash is made. Hash is made by taking the value of data and previous hash, right? We haven't yet discussed previous hash, but yeah, this is how hash is made, right? With a mixture of data and previous hash. All these two values mixed and we create a hash, right? And which actually represents the data which is in the block. Okay. And now, so this is a simple hash, right? So now let's just come to what is previous hash. So previous hash, it is just a hash or fingerprint of the previous block, right? So there is a blockchain, right? So chain is will be connected. We will see that in working, right, in the next slide. But right now, there will be a chain like different blocks. So previous hash is the hash of, or the fingerprint, right, of the previous block, which is contained, right, which is contained just within the block, right? So if you're not able to understand previous hash, don't just take action, don't just take tension. We will understand in the future slides. So now, we know what is data, we know what is hash, right? It's just a normal fingerprint. Now, just move on to our second word, right? Now, see, we know what is a block, right? Now, let's go forward to our second word, that is chain, right? So we all know what is chain, right? We chain is just network of connections, like different network will be connected, so that is chain, right? Now let's actually see it in working, and you will definitely get a better reference of it. So right now we have our first block. You can see that. Let me just take a laser pointer. Okay, so I guess you can see it. Okay, so right now we have block number one. Okay, so it is also called Genesis block. And why it is called Genesis block? Because in the blockchain, the number one block, that is the Genesis block, will be fixed. And this will be only our first block. In any blockchain, the first block is fixed, right? So this number one block is also in any of the blockchain, the number one block is known as Genesis block. Why? Because this block will be always fixed. Okay. So right now we have our first block, right? So let's just assume there is some data, right? I'm not going to deep what is the data. So let's just assume there is some data in our first block, right? And it does not contains previous hash. Why? Because there is no block starting before it, like there is no zero block. The blockchain is starting with only the first block, so there is no previous hash. And trust me, the Genesis block, the first block, will be the only block that won't contain any previous hash. Rest all the block will be containing a previous bag, will be containing previous hash, but just the Genesis block, the first block, will not be containing any hash, any previous hash, right? Because it is the first block and there are no previous other blocks, right? And now just so our first block contains data. It does not contains previous hash, as I said, and it contains a hash, right? There is a hash value. Okay. So now there is block number two, right? So this is our second block. Okay. So similarly, the block number two has some data inside it. It also has a previous hash. Now it contains a previous hash. Since before two there is one, so there will be a previous hash, right? So, and also it contains hash, right? And now here you can see that the block number two, the previous hash of block number two, it is equal to the hash of block number one, right? You can see it, right? You can see this, that the previous hash of block number two is same as the hash of block number one. And this is where actually the links come, right? It is exactly identical, no change, right? It is exactly identical. And this is where the link comes. This is where there will be a chain created, right? So in this two blocks there is a connection, that is the previous hash. So our second block will be containing the value of the hash of the previous block, right? And this is only where the link comes, right? And this is why we called it a chain, right? Since there is a connection now, right? So that is why we actually called it a chain, or we can say the blockchain. Now you get the point, I guess, because these blocks are now cryptographically linked with each other through all these hashes, right? So if we are going to look like after, obviously we're going to look like how it actually works in the other slides, but for now this is I hope you can understand that all these blocks are cryptographically linked together with each other, right? And this is why we called it a blockchain. Okay. And also, every block will have its own fingerprint, or you can say a hash value, right? Similarly, as I said, that the fingerprint of a particular human is different. No person in the world will have the same fingerprint as you, right? Similarly, in the blockchain, there will be a hash, and this hash will be different. Every block will have a different hash. Okay. And yeah, so if anything were to change, now we have the blockchain and all these things that are inside us, right? Now, what if someone tries to change the data of the second block, right? Now let's just there is some kind of data in the second block, right? Every block is containing some data. Now, as I also said, that this hash value is made up of two values, two things like data and previous hash. All those things together make a hash, right? So if anyone were to change the data of our block, the previous hash will also change, right? So if the previous hash will also change, the this thing will be broken. Like, the if the previous hash will change, the it will not match the hash of the previous block, right? So if anyone were to change it, like anyone were to tamper our data inside a block, then there will be, we will be knowing that somebody is trying to tamper with our data, right? And there will be no longer match of our hash, like no longer fingerprint will not match, right? So if anyone is changing the data, the hash will change, like the for now fingerprint will change, right? And it will not match the previous fingerprint, right? So this is how we know that anybody is, this is how we know that anybody is trying to tamper our data, or the blockchain will know that someone is trying to tamper our data. So this is how it is very, very safe. And also, I hope you are aware. If you're not aware of it, then it's okay. Linked list, right? So if you're aware of the concept of linked list, it is similar to this. It is not like linked list, but the concept is similar to it. So I hope you are aware of linked list. If also not, then it's okay. I have explained like how it is connected, right? So let's just actually see it in working. Let's just add another block to it. Okay. So we have our genesis block, the first block. It contains data, and it contains no previous hash, since it is the first block, as I said. Okay. It will contain a hash value, right? And now we have our second block. It also contains some data, and it has previous hash. This previous hash will be equal to the hash of our first block, and it also contains a hash that is made up of data and previous hash. Both these value together makes a hash, right? And now we have added our third block, right? So in this also, it contains some data, and it contains the previous hash, which is identical of the hash of the second block. Okay. So and this similarly, it will also contain hash, and similarly, it will just this chain will just go on, and there will be infinite, or there will be some all these blocks will be connected like this only, and there will be cryptographically linked. They will be cryptographically linked together, right? So again, like conceptually, we can see that if anybody tries to tamper with any of the block, then their fingerprint would no longer match, and the chain would break, right? As I said, that if anyone to trying, like for example, take if anybody is trying to do some tampering with our third block, right? So if there is some data, we stored it and we move forward, right? So if anyone is trying to change the data of this third block, then the value of this, or just saying, let's take the second block. This will be more easier, right? So if somebody is trying to do something with our data of this block, then the hash of this block will change, right? So since the hash is made up of data and previous hash, so if anybody is trying to tamper the data, this hash will change, right? And if this hash will change, it will no longer match this hash, right? It already contains a previous hash, like the older one hash. But if now if someone has tampered the data of the second block, so this will no longer match, right? This will no longer match. And similarly, the blockchain would be knowing, or the people handling the blockchain will be knowing that there is someone who has tampered the data, right? So similarly, as we say, that this is why we called it a blockchain, since blocks are cryptographically linked together, right? So this is just a simple blockchain, right? It is a very high level, very high level, that it is just to get you help started. This is how the blockchain is. I understand. I hope you understand the underlying concept and how it is actually working. So yeah, I guess you got it. And there are many other concepts of blockchain, right? This is just at a high level, and there are a lot of things. But this is how the blockchain is running, right? This is how the blockchain word. Now you know the meaning of blockchain and how it is actually cryptographically linked together and how it is actually working, right? So we store data in our blockchain, and this is how it works. So let's just do a simple revision. Okay. So what is a blockchain in just a simple word, and we will go it thoroughly. So it's what is blockchain? Blockchain is a type of database like a traditional ledger system. So I know, I hope you know, ledger system is basically like it is a like old ledger system where we store our data, right? So it is just it is just a type of a database, right? Where you can store your data, right? If you, I hope you're aware of database. Database is a thing where you store your data, right? So blockchain is just a type of a database where you can store your data, right? As we see in the previous slides as well, right? So it also collects information and stores together in the blocks, right? So as we seen in the previous slides as well, that it can it can collect your information and it can store that in the block, right? And then the blocks are linked together to form a chain, and it is metaphorically called a blockchain. As we right now, we see that the previous hash and the hash values are identical, and this is how the links, there is a link between all these blocks. So that's why we called the block and the chain, right? Since it is a chain of all these blocks, right? So the records, and before entering the blockchain, and also if you are like storing data in the blockchain, and then before entering into the blockchain, all those things are verified once again, right? And this is just I'm saying you out, at a very high level, right? So if you are, if you want to learn more, you can definitely Google it. It is just a very high level. So once a record, and also, if once a record enters into the blockchain, it can never be deleted or it can never be altered. So our blockchain is immutable, right? So if something goes inside the blockchain, it can never be deleted or it can never be altered. This is how it is strong, right? This is how it is secure. So once anything goes inside the blockchain, it can never be deleted or it can never be altered, right? So this is how it is immutable. And we know how it is immutable. Like if someone were try to thing like change the data of the blockchain, right? So the hash value will change, and it will no longer match the hash of the previous block, right? So this, as we seen in the previous slides, right? So this is the blockchain is immutable, and also the chronology is also maintained and can never be changed. As I said to you, that if there is one block that is Genesis block, right? So if the second block is there, then it will remain the second block. You can't change the chronology of the block. So the boxes are fixed, like the blocks are fixed. One, if the block is number 2, then it will be number 2 for its life, right? So it will be number 2. You just can't change the chronology of these blocks, right? And the transaction, it can be stored in the blockchain and can be viewed on the demands or any data. If you are storing anything like a transaction, suppose you are storing a transaction that A gives some 20 rupees to B, right? And this transaction is stored in the blockchain. So if you want, you can, anybody can see it that A transferred B 20 rupees, right? So on demand, this can be viewed, right? So blockchain is just, it is open source. I hope you are aware of open source. Open source is basically the code. Like code will also be an open source, right? And open source is just, it is so beautiful that you can also build on top of it, right? So blockchain is just open, and it is also distributed. So right now we have centralized server. Like in the in the future slides, we are going to look what is centralization and what is decentralization. So blockchain is decentralized. It is distributed, right? So as I said, it is also immutable, and yeah, it is peer to peer. The blocks are connected to each other. So this is a peer to peer network, right? And it is also permanent, right? So if anybody tried to tamper our data, they can't do it. And if anything goes inside the block, it can't be changed. It is permanent. Okay. So this is just blockchain at a very high level. Now let's just get started with our next topic. I hope you understand it. If not, I can definitely explain again, and you can watch the session again after it ends. And yeah, let's move forward to our next small topic, that is Web 3.0. And you will surely connect with blockchain and everything, right? So yeah, so let's just see it, right? So our next topic is introduction to Web 3.0. Now, what the heck is Web 3.0? There are a lot of people talking about it, that Web 3.0 is coming, and what is it, right? So let's just see like what actually it is, right? So for to understand Web 3.0, let's just first decode Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. What was actually in it, like in a very short thing, right? In a very short thing, let's just see what is Web 1.0 and Web 2.0, right? So in the initial sessions, like when the internet came in the 1990s, people were not having access to the internet. They were not having mobile phones, so there were no mobile phones, and all of the people were not aware of internet, right? So when the internet came, there came Web 1.0. So what was Web 1.0? Web 1.0 was very very it was just like a Wikipedia, or it is just like a big library. So where a person can go and they can see they can access any of the information they want, right? So similarly, like right now we have big libraries, so you go to the library or you go to the Wikipedia, and then you can see sorry so you can see if you want any of the information, you can just get it, right? So this is was just Web 1.0. It was read only web. Okay, so and also there was no communication. Right now, we go to the website and we can just chat with our friends, or we can chat with any of the people, right? So but in Web 1.0, it was only read only web. You just can't write to the web, right? You can just take information from the internet. Okay, so there was no communication, and if the two people want to communicate, they can't, because there will be a single webmaster who will be store giving the information to the internet, and you will be just reading it. So this is how in the initial stage, when the internet came, there was this is how the Web 1.0, it was only read only web. Okay, so let's just move forward to our next slide. uh, Actually can't forward to the next slide. Okay, so here I am. Okay, so what was now Web 2.0? Okay, so slowly what happened was that there came JavaScript, there came all these video streaming things, right? So slowly all these things came together and they form Web 2.0, right? So in Web 1.0 it was only read only web, right? But in Web 2.0 it was read and write. So also in Web 2.0 you can also read it, right? So in Web 2.0 there was capability of reading and writing web contents. So in Web 1.0 there was static websites. You can just go to the website and you can just take the information. You can't do anything. So all these static websites in Web 2.0 got replaced with dynamic websites. Now what's a dynamic in which you can actually chat, like now for example, if you go to the Facebook, you can chat with a person who's sitting on outside of any country. He's sitting in other country and you are in other country, so you can actually chat, right? And this is what dynamic websites are. And it was all it was interactive, and it was all like instant messaging, as I said you, right? And it also became a common and a natural thing. People got interested in using social medias, and all these things together came on. It was just a natural thing for humans, right? Everything also went online, like for example shopping or games, everything went online. There was Amazon, people were buying books, people were buying different stuffs, right? And right now we are also in the Web 2.0 world. As you can also see, there was right now we use podcasts, we have news groups, we have blogs and wikis and social medias and mail groups. Everything we have in Web 2.0. Right now we are also in Web 2.0. And also slowly these big tech giants companies like Facebook, Amazon came, right? And slowly they used AI and to call the internet, and the games also came, right now we play interactive games like PUBG, right? So slowly these big tech companies came, and they created a lot of social medias and games and everything. So right now we are also in Web 2.0 world as well. So so to store your information, right? So for example, you are now let's say for example you are using WhatsApp, right? So if you're chatting with someone, your data must be stored, right? So if your chat is a form of data, right? Everything is data. So your chat is also data. So that data needs to be stored somewhere, right? So I know, hope you understand that data, if you're talking to someone, there is a data. So that data needs to be stored somewhere, right? So there were, big servers these companies were using to store your information, give you a better user experience, right? So better user experience is in the sense that now, for example, let's say you are using Instagram or you are using Facebook. So the more you like the content of a single person, like for example, if you are a tech person, right? So you like the tech content, right? So you need to watch the tech content. You want to watch the tech content, right? So you like that content, and if you like it, the companies are going to store it that this person likes this data, and it will give you better user experience, right? So if you are liking this person, you definitely want to see more of his content or more of this type of content, right? So this is how these companies give you a better user experience, right? Now actually, what was the problem, right? So to give you a better user experience, as I said, it is not wrong. So they were collecting your data, and also I will say that it is not something which is wrong, because you definitely want to see the stuff you like, right? So these companies tries to store our data, and they store it, right? So this was not a problem till now, if they were not using it for other purposes. But slowly they realized that they can do a lot with your data, right? They not just use for it to give you better user experience. They realized they can make a lot of money with it, right? So what they started to do was, they were now selling your data, right? So after collect the companies started to collect our data for better user experience, but they realized they can do a lot with it, right? So they were now trying to sell your data to different persons, right? To different organization or anything. And this violated the privacy of the users, right? So wherever you go, they knew it, right? So and directly or indirectly, we gave them the permission. Right now, if we install any of the app, we don't see like the agreements or anything. We just click on there that I agree and continue, and we just click the right button, and you say that I agree and continue. We just don't read it. And in that only, the terms and conditions, there are many of the things that the companies are taking from you. They are tracking your locations, and they are also tracking a lot of other things, right? So directly or indirectly, we gave them the permission. So these companies know wherever you are. So last night, if you are having coffee with your friends, or if Raj is talking to Simran or anything, right? So all these big tech companies know, right? They can track your location and whom you are talking to, so they have everything. So this violated the privacy of the user. So there was no privacy in Web 2.0 world. So that is what was wrong with Web 2.0 world. And they were trading of your data, right? So for example, right now, let's just take example, like if you are talking to your friend, that I suppose that it has actually happened with you. It had happened with me as well. That if you are talking with a person, or if you're talking with a friend of your friend, that you want to buy a new phone, right? If you're chatting with a friend, that you're saying that, if you're calling up someone and you are saying that I want to buy a new phone. So the AI these days is so smart that it knows that what you are trying to buy next, right? So if you are talking to your friend, it can read it that you want it, and in the next moment the ad shows up. And it has happened to me with a lot that if I want to buy something, there is an ad, and I hadn't even tell anybody. So this AI is so smart that it can actually read your mind, right? And also it is so smart that suppose you purchased a phone recently, right? So if you purchased a phone recently, you will be also needing some temper glass or cover of the phone. So this AI is so smart that is going to show you the ads of the cover or the temper glass of your mobile, right? So similarly, these companies are now trying to sell your data with it, right? So this was also which was actually this was violating the privacy of users. So they were showing targeted advertisements to us, and this was not good. Like many of the people don't like it, that the companies are knowing what are you doing, right? So this was a just a controlled internet. And also I hope you have heard of that. There are a lot of data leak, right? So recently I've heard of if that Facebook data was leaked, right? So these companies have stored your data in a big centralized server. That is big, very big tech computers, like the physical computers, they have the power, right? So if all this data is leaked, like there is also a dark web, right? So right now we are in the good web, right? But also there is a dark web. I hope you all know it, but I will not suggest you to use it. But there is a side of dark web where all these, if the data is leaked, people are actually bidding on your data, right? So if data is leaked, then they know, if someone is going to buy this, they will be knowing your ID, your password. They will have all the access to your photos and everything, right? So this is how it is very, and it is not really secure for it, right? So if there is a data leak breach, all your data is gone, and anybody can see your username, your ID, your email, or anything. So it was just a centralized internet. So all these major 4 to 5 companies were ruling the internet. So right now also they are ruling, right? So this is how Web 2.0 works. So in Web 3.0, like in Web 2.0, as we said, a few of the companies were controlling the internet, right? And none has the authority over, and they were having all the authority over all your data, right? But in Web 3.0, as you can see that in Web 2.0, all your things were connected to a centralized server. Okay, all your things were connected to a centralized server. But in Web 3.0, no one will be having the authority of your personal data. How? Because there will be no centralized server. All your data will be distributed over the whole network. So there will be no centralized server, like your data will not be going to a single centralized server. And in Web 3.0, there will be peer to peer. Like the peer to peer is basically everything will be connected to everything. So there will be a no centralized authority, and all your data will be distributed over whole network, right? So this is how you can actually see the difference in the diagram, that it is connected to a centralized server. But in Web 3.0, it all these things will be connected. Like this will be a peer-to-peer network. Like it will be distributed. Like your data will be distributed over whole network. So no one will be having the authority of your data. And this is how, in short, Web 3.0 is. So in Web 1.0, it was read. In Web 2.0, it was read and write. But in Web 3.0, it is read, write, and own web. So you can also own your data. No one, no, not a single authority will be controlling your data. You can also own your data. So this is how, this is what Web 3.0 is. So you can store your data. Your data, for example, can be stored in any of the things, like your refrigerator or toaster if they have internet access. Your mobile phone, if you have internet access, you can store your data in it, right? So this is how Web 3.0 is: read, write, and own. This will be your own web. You will be owning your data, right? And what is actually the underlying technology? As we studied blockchain, so in Web 3.0, the underlying technology will be blockchain. Like as you can see, like right now, this is centralized, right? All your things are connected to a single centralized server. Like for example, you can take banks or anything, right? And everything is connected to a centralized server. But in Web 3.0, since we will be using a blockchain technology, as we studied the blockchain, how actually data is stored in the blockchain. So in Web 3.0, blockchain will be used. And this is the true beauty of blockchain, that it is actually decentralized and it is very secure, and it is just a private network, right? So this will be, we will be snatching power from all those big tech companies, and now we will be owning our data. We will be having authority, right? And blockchain isn't the only technology. Let me tell you, like blockchain isn't the only technology that is used in Web 3.0. There are also several other different technologies behind the tech, behind this tech, like for example AI and many other different technology, right? Or other services as well. But the main underlying technology is blockchain, since it is, it is actually showing you the path to decentralization. Okay, so yeah, this is it. And let me just give you a quick revision of Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. So in Web 1.0, like we studied, it was only read. It was users can only read those websites. Like in 1990s, people just go to the web pages. They were just taking the data over it. It was just like a huge library. But slowly things changed, and in Web 2.0, there were users who were interacting with each other, right? So in Web 2.0, people were, there was social media networking like Facebook, Amazon, people were buying stuff, right? But in Web 3.0, like the latest phase, the right now phase, what is coming, the future, the data will be owned by you. No one single authority will be controlling your data, right? So in Web 1.0 was read-only web, Web 2.0 was read plus write web, and Web 3.0 is read, write plus own, and meditated. No one will be, controlling it, right? You will be owning your data. So in Web 1.0, there was static websites. In Web 2.0, there were dynamic websites. We were interacting. In Web 3.0, there will be decentralized network, decentralized website. Like no one will be controlling it, right? It will be on a distributed servers, right? So similarly, as you can see that all these in the tech world also, like in Web 1.0, simple HTML, CSS, we were using it, right? But slowly JavaScript came, React came, and there was, all these other frameworks came, like the Django or any other tech, like, web frameworks and things, and we were using it, right? But in Web 3.0 also, now the backend will be improved a lot. Like in the backend, you will be using blockchain, we will be using, smart contracts, we'll be using different types of blockchain, right? So, this is how, this is actually the difference, right? One point is left that was mainly about, like Web 1.0 was mainly about content, and Web 2.0 was more about the interaction between people, and Web 3.0 is more about decentralization of the network, right? It wants to provide you privacy, it wants to provide you transparency, and all the data is shared, right? So this is how Web 3.0 is totally awesome, and I hope you are understanding what actually Web 3.0 will change. Now let's just have a quick look, right? How Web 3.0 is going to change our life, right? So in Web 3.0 world, the internet will be decentralized, right? The decentralized internet will make knowledge more accessible. Like there will be no regulations, right? Right now, there are some of the websites that you can't visit, or some of the things that are blocked in our country, right? Because it is a controlled internet. But in Web 3.0, it will be not controlled by anyone. So you will have more access. You can visit. There will be no regulation. You can visit anything, right? You can go to anything, right? So there will be more access to people, right? And then there will be more private and secured internet, right? So as I said you that in Web 2.0, the companies were selling your data, as you said that they were trading your data. But in Web 3.0, there will be more private and more security, since you will be owning your data, and also against the cyber attacks, and all these things will not happen, because there is no your data is not stored in a centralized server. So if there is a cyber attack, your data is safe, you are the true owner of your data. So Web 3.0 will be providing true ownership of over your data, or over your asset, or over your money, right? If you have heard of crypto is also a part of, just a small part of Web 3.0 world, right? It provides you true ownership of your money, right? It is keeping safe, like all of your money. Like right now, we don't trust our city banks, right? The country of the banks of our country. You also have heard of, if you are Indian, you must have watched of scam 1992. So what happened was, scam 1992 was, people were giving their money to the bank, and in a single night, like bank gave all their money to a single person, with and all the money of a of the normal, like Aam Aadmi person was gone, right? So the crypto is not right now doing the same thing in the Web3 world. It is providing you true ownership of your money. So no, there will be a no central authority like banks controlling your money. You will be controlling your own money, right? So it is just a small part of the internet, like the Web 3.0 world, crypto, and there will be no monopoly with the information, right? The third point is, so if you have heard of, there was a case of Cambridge Analytica, right? So what happened was, people were actually using Facebook, right? So we all use Facebook. So what Facebook was doing was that during the time of elections, that Facebook was just showing only the part of just one party, right? So in the elections, there are two parties. So what Facebook was doing, it was just favoring one of the party. And if you are using the Facebook, if you are using Facebook, the Facebook will show you only the good things of one party, and it will show you the bad things of the other party, right? So this is how these centralized companies were controlling the internet. They were tampering with our information, right? So but in web 3.0 world, this will not happen. So there will be no monopoly with the information. Nobody can do all these things, right? If you're not aware of Cambridge Analytica, you can just Google it, like what happened with in the elections in US. You can search Cambridge Analytica in the Google, and you will definitely get it. And also in the web 3.0 world, it will be peer to peer, right? It will be it will be user centric, like no taking down of your post, or no monopoly, right? So right now what happens is that we are also if you are also a developer, right? So if you have deployed your website somewhere, and if that server goes down, right, if you are doing it on the AWS and that server goes down, then your website also goes down. But this will not happen in web 3.0, because your internet will never go down, since it is distributed and it is not on a single server. Your website is not going down. So as a developer also, you don't need to worry about your website going down. And no, there will be no monopoly of 4 to 5 big tech companies changing the flow of the internet. I'm not going to take again and again the name of these companies. We all know all these companies controlling the internet and changing the flow of the internet. So this will not happen now, right? And it will provide you high security, no tracking of your location, or no tracking of your talks. So if you are talking to someone, you really want privacy. You don't want anyone to anyone to know that what you are talking about, what you are chatting about, right? So this is how the web 3.0 world will provide you more security and more authority of your data, right? So now let's just talk about the future scope. And before talking about the future scope, let me see if there are any questions, right? So let me just see it, if there are any questions. Okay, I actually don't think there are any questions, or we can actually, take it at the end. And yeah, okay. So let's just, move forward to our next presentation. Now, one of our next topic is about the future scope, right? What is actually the future scope of Web 3.0 right now? So right now, people are actually using Web 3.0. Where people are actually using Web 3. So as you can see that people are tweeting about it. Web 3 users are getting more paid than Web 2. Actually, Web 2 employees, right? And so this will happen in Web 3.0. Not only the creator will be earning, like if you are using a social media also, you will be earning. You will be, right now we just waste time on the internet, watching those reels and everything. But in Web 3.0 world, you will be paid to watch those reels, right? Isn't it amazing? You will be paid to watch anything, right? So this is how you will be also growing in Web 3.0 world, and you will be not wasting your time. Like right now also, we waste our time in playing games. So there is no, you are not earning anything from playing games, right? But in Web 3.0, you will be earning from playing games as well, like actually earning. And people are actually, they have left their jobs, and they are now choosing gaming as their career, and they are playing. So you can now choose gaming as your career in Web 3.0 world, and you will be paid to play games, or you will be paid to watch anything, right? And as you can see that people are saying that more I learn about Web 3 and develop decentralized application, the more I'm blown. Now, what is decentralized application? So right now we use applications which are on the single server, but in Web 3.0 world, there will be applications which that will be decentralized. There will be it will be not on a single centralized server, since it will be on blockchain. So these are called decentralized applications. Okay, you can also Google more about it, like what are decentralized applications. So yeah. So in Web 3.0, we will be using decentralized application. And also, people are saying that there is a lot of hype that Web 3.0 is a high risk taking, or let's just wait for something to happen, let's just wait to get it safe, right? But it is not the case, right? Don't get into the hype that people are saying. They don't want, they don't want power to be decentralized. They want to store the information, they want the power, right? So if there are big tech companies, they are only saying it that web 3.0 world is not good, since it is providing decentralization, right? So this will snatch the powers from those companies. That's why they are not using it. But also, some of the companies are using it, as you have heard of, like the Facebook, right? Facebook has got into a metaverse, right? So all these things together, actually the people are adapting web 3.0, and people should adapt. And people who will adapt it will move forward, and the people who do not adapt it, they will be they will be not earning more, right? So there will be biggest opportunity. It is just a time that you can build anything right now. Suppose you were born in 1990s, and about the internet at that time. So at that time you could have, people say that I could have burned, you can created something of my own, right? So right now, if you are thinking about that, so this is the high time, and this is the exactly same time as the 1990s when the internet came. So you can rebuild anything. You can, it is about rebuilding the internet again from the scratch. So web 3.0 is all about rebuilding everything. If you can see any application, if you are seeing any applications out there, it is centralized. Try to understand like how I can decentralize it. You can build anything. And also, if you have heard of NFTs, right? What is NFT? NFT is a non-fungible token. I hope you have heard of it. Like if you have not, you can just Google it. What is an NFT? So an NFT is just a non-fungible token. So let me just explain you in short. Like for example, you play games right now. So in the game, you buy some of the guns, for example, right? So this is what will be in the real life. Like NFT will be a unique thing that you can actually buy in your real life, right? So it will be a it will be a unique token, or there will be the only small tokens that will be unique, and you can just buy it, right? It is just you're going to be your digital asset, right? Now, for example, in the when you were a child, you used to collect those cards and everything, like the cricket cards. So this is how the NFT is, and people are actually collecting it, right? So in the future, everything you will be definitely owing an NFT, because everything will be an NFT. Like for example, if you are buying flight tickets, that will be also an NFT. If you are buying a concert ticket, right? So this that will be also come in NFT, right? And trust me that crypto is the future, because it is providing you true ownership of your money, and you definitely want true ownership of your data, of your money, right? So this is how it is the future scope. If you want, you can just rebuild. It is just about rebuilding the internet again. So it is a high chance to become something that you really wanted to be. So yeah, and now let's just see, if you want to pursue Web 3.0, what are the careers and what are the career opportunities and other types of opportunities that you can choose, right? So in the Web 3 world, you can become a blockchain engineer or a blockchain developer, right? So also there are right now different blockchains. There is not a single blockchain. There are different blockchain. Now, for example, take Ethereum, and Bitcoin is also a blockchain, but Bitcoin is not a programmable blockchain. You can't create apps on the Bitcoin. It is just for transaction of transaction of the money. It can just store transaction. So Bitcoin is not a programmable blockchain, right? And there are other programmable blockchain like Ethereum or Solana or Flow or any all these blockchain. You can choose it, right? And you can learn a particular language that is used in a blockchain. You can learn about the particular blockchain, and you can learn the particular language used in that blockchain, and then you can become a blockchain engineer, or you can become a blockchain developer. You can build things over blockchain, or you can manage the blockchain. So you can choose anything you want. And also, there are many people ask me this question, like if like competitive programming is required or not, or DSA is required or not. So if you are learning a language, then data structures and algorithm are the basic of any language. So if you are learning any of the language, you should definitely learn data structures and algorithms, right? So that is, really, really important. And talking about the CP, like competitive programming is not important because since you will be only developing, so you don't need to do like hard DP problems or anything. You just need to have the power of like the language, the particular language. You should be knowing how actually that language works and how a single data structure works, and that is enough, right? And also, right now every company is hiring like for different roles, right? And you can become a DevOps specialist, like DevOps, if you are aware of it, you can become it. And you can become a developer relationships, right? Developer relationships are like managing relations between developer. You can become all these things. And also, since web 3.0 world is new and there are several companies, like each day a new company is coming, so obviously they will be needing employees, right? So they will be hiring like anything, right? They will be hiring each and every role, right? So you can see different role, like you can become a community management. If you're not into tech, you can, if you like communities, you can manage those communities. You can become a crypto analyst, right? That is also in the web 3.0 world. You can become a growth hacker, like how actually the company can grow, right? How actually this can grow. So you can become a growth hacker. You can become a DeFi developer. What is DeFi? DeFi is decentralized finance. Now, I'm not going to explain it to you, really sorry, because it is a whole new different topic, but you can definitely Google it, like what is DeFi. So you can become a, DeFi developer or anything, right? And also, you can become a miner or you can become a staker. Now, what are those terms? I will be explaining in short. Now, mining is the process of creating a block, right? So if someone is creating a block, they are also earning, right? So there are a whole new concept like of proof of stake and proof of works, right? So this is just all the consensus of building a block. So if someone is building this block, then they will be also earning, right? So you can become a miner or you can stake. You can also stake your coins. You can become a staker or you can become a validator. Like you can Google it, like what is mining or how you can become a miner, or how you can stake your coins and how you can create those blocks. So you can definitely earn through that, right? And there are also various other non-tech jobs and internships. Right now, if you are a student, you definitely want internships, right? So in web 3.0 you can definitely find a lot of other internships, right? Like non-tech internship, tech internships as well, and non-tech internships like customer support or design. If you're someone not liking the coding thing, right? If you do not like the code, you can become a marketing person, you can become operating sales, and you can also open your own startup, right? So all these companies are hiring for non-tech jobs as well. So this is a high chance. And if they hire for non-tech companies, they definitely want person to know about blockchain and what is actually crypto and how actually these things work. So once you understand the blockchain and crypto, you can definitely apply to non-tech jobs. And trust me, they are paying a lot. Like tech and non-tech companies are, in the web 3.0 world, are paying more than FANG companies. There is a lot of hype that FANG companies are paying a lot. Trust me, web 3.0 companies are paying a lot more than that, right? And also you can launch your own product. As I said, that it is a high time. It is just like internet came in the 1990s. You can build your own product. You can become the next Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so you can launch your own product. You can build anything of your own, and you do a startup. You can open your own startup. And also there are a lot of grants providing by blockchain companies. So for example, if I'm working in Polygon, if you are building on top of a Polygon, then you can definitely they will be providing you grants. So if your project is good, right? So all these companies they really want to support you. And web 3.0 world is really a lot of supporting, right? It is there are many people who want to support you. So if you want to build your own product, you just have to show idea to the people and ability that you can build, and you can actually get funding or you can get a grant, right? And also if you are a student, so some tips for students, there are a lot of campus ambassador programs as well, and they also pay you. So if you are someone you want something extra cash, or as a student, if you are a first and second year, you can participate in this campus ambassador program. So there will be no right now we are taking a hype that there are only 2 3 major programs, but since these companies are coming, they will be having campus ambassador programs, right? So you can just learn about these things. And if you are also searching for a job, or you are searching for an internship, you can cold email these companies. You can if you know about blockchain, or if you're comfortable with blockchain, you can search about all the web3 companies right now. You can cold email that. You can just mail them that I know this thing and I'm aware of blockchain, so please give me a job. You can tell them, I'm definitely they will reply you. And they want employees, right? They also want employees, so you can just cold email them, and you will definitely get a job out there. And if you are someone, like, if you want a job, you can and if you're not aware of like where to find these jobs, like I will share some resources, like I have shared on Twitter as well, so you can connect with me on Twitter. I share a lot of resources, so I will also share the link here as well, just in a second after this session ends, so you can find job opportunities over there, or any of the internships, right? And also, you can, if you are there, blockchain, you can definitely DM me and on the Twitter, and I will definitely try to help you to get a job or anything in the Web 3.0 world. Okay, so let's just, this is all about careers and opportunities. So there are a lot of jobs out there in the Web3 world. You definitely want to explore it, and they are also paying, high as paying companies. So you can definitely, explore it, and you should definitely, get started with Web 3.0 world. And yeah, so this was our conclusion, and this is how the evolution of technology, and evolution is necessary, right? So as I said, that everything evolves, right? Since Web 2.0 came, like after Web 1.0, similarly there will be evolution of technology as well, right? So there will be Web 3.0 definitely. And everything, since everything changes, so does the internet as well. And now each one of us will be holding a piece of internet. Isn't it amazing, right? So each one of us will be holding a piece of internet. There will be no single authority controlling the internet. And yeah, this was the conclusion of our this session. I hope you understand it. I hope you understand what is blockchain, and how actually Web 3.0 is coming, and how it is changing. It was very at a high level, but definitely I understand. I hope that you guys understand what is blockchain and what is Web 3.0. Now let's just see if you have any questions. Then see that if you have any questions, you can definitely ask in the chat. And yeah, so let's see if you have any questions. I'm seeing it. Awesome. Also, Sanika, if you are there, you can, read some questions if I miss someone, okay? If I miss any of the questions. So, okay. Okay. We know that companies use our data, okay, to display, prioritize advertisements, and sometimes show similar content according to our content preference. So, can this problem be solved with Web 3.0? Yes, yes. So in Web 3.0 also, the companies will be seeing like what you are liking, and what you clicked on it, right? So they will be seeing like what are your thing, like what are you liking and what is your preference. They will be able to see it, but they will not be able to trade your data, since they will not be having authority over your data, right? So there will be AI similar to in Web 2.0 world, but nobody will be able to trade your data because they don't have the authority. Okay. So, okay, okay. So moving on
Hello,
to the
Uttam.
next question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, Sanika. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'll highlight the questions on the screen and you can answer to this question. Okay, will that be fine? I think.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I Okay. Which algorithm is used to make hash? Okay. So to make hash, there is an algorithm called SHA 256. Before that, there were different algorithms. I don't remember, but that was also SHA. But right now, also there is SHA 256. You can Google it. SHA 256. This is the algorithm used to make hash. Yeah. So where does the decentralized data go to? Okay, so decentralized data go to blockchain. Like as in the initial in the session, I don't I hope you have seen the initial of the sessions. Your decentralized data is stored in the blockchain technology, right? In the blocks, as we heard of, as we see that there is some kind of data and everything is connected. So your decentralized data go to blockchain. Any sources to learn about Web3 and blockchain? Okay, so this will take a lot of new sessions. So I am also going to share a Web 3.0 roadmap on my Twitter. So you can, definitely follow me, and I will definitely, if you want, I will try to reply you on Twitter as well. So, oh, just a second. Okay, so let's just actually close our presentation, I guess. Just a second. Oh, okay. Thank you, Tanika. Okay, so for the resources, I guess if you want to learn about blockchain, first of all, I will definitely suggest you to learn blockchain. Don't directly deep dive into Web 3. Learn about blockchain. What is it? So, if you want to learn about blockchain, you can definitely take a course on Udemy, or you can just learn more about from resources like learning about reading blogs as well, or on the YouTube as well. There are different courses on YouTube. So right now, just go for blockchain. Just understand blockchain, and you will then I will share resources on Twitter as well, so you can connect with me on DM. Right? Awesome. Next question is: earlier data was collected centrally, but in Web 3.0 it will be distributed all over the network. So how does it protects privacy? Right. So as I said, Jaskirat, that your data is not stored in a centralized server, right? So it is not controlled in a center. It is not stored in a centralized server. So these big tech companies will be not knowing like how you are talking and where you are traveling, right? So right now, if you're using WhatsApp, right? So you give permission to the WhatsApp of your location, right? So WhatsApp knows where you are traveling, right? It knows if you were with a coffee, some person, if you are with a coffee, or you were clubbing last night, it knows, right? So but in Web 3.0 world, since your location is not tracked, so it will be provide you more privacy, right? And there are different other concepts as well of the privacy. So this is just an example. I hope you get it. Is there any
If there are any questions, you can just put it in the chat box.
Okay, I can see more questions. Is there any job for front end and back end? Yeah, definitely. In Web 3.0, I forgot to add it, but in Web 3.0, the front end is not going to change a lot. Like there will be different libraries and frameworks that you need to learn, but front end is not going to change a lot. So if you knowing JavaScript, or if you know React, you definitely need to learn some libraries, but it is not going to change fully. So if you are a front end developer, you can definitely reach out to people, and you can definitely apply for front end jobs as well. Or if you are from back end developer, I guess back end is going to change. So for back end, you need to learn new languages, you need to learn new frameworks for that. So it will take some time. So if you are a front end developer, you can start applying, and you can learn more about front end, how front end is going to use, and what are the libraries used in front end. Right? Webhav Sharma, when is the next session? I am not sure. Okay, so I guess Sanika can answer it.
Yeah, we
Awesome,
are planning to do that. Yeah.
awesome. I hope Webhav you got your answer. Which backend framework? So in the backend framework, yeah, like I can say you go start with Ethereum, learn about Ethereum blockchain, what it is, and how you can create smart contracts, right? Smart contracts are going to be the thing. So you can definitely learn about Ethereum and smart contracts. But first of all, learn about blockchain first. Don't deep dive into all these things. Learn about blockchain first. Awesome. I guess I can't see any more questions. So yeah, I guess this is the
Yeah,
end of
more
our
of them are
session.
covered
And
actually. I don't think
yeah,
there are any questions right now.
yeah, I will also just trying to share a link with you all. Like I said, I can share it. Okay. I hope you can see the link. So they here all these companies, all these platforms where you can find blockchain jobs or Web 3.0 jobs, right? So I hope it is visible, right, Sanika? The link.
No, actually, it is not visible yet.
Uh, okay, I'm not sure where I can send it. Uh,
Uh,
oh,
if it's possible, you can just send it to Ayan and we can just post it here in the chat box.
awesome, awesome. I can also share it with on the Discord session. So if you haven't joined the
Yeah.
Discord sessions of Coders Evoke, do join it. Link is in the description. So I will share any resources, and you can also ping me on Discord. It is also on the Twitter as well. Awesome. Uh, yeah, I think we can end this session, Sanika.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Uttam, for this session. I believe that the efforts you took to deliver this session really help us a lot to kickstart our journey for blockchain as well as Web3. So also thank you to all attendees who have attended this session, and I can see the enthusiasm in the chat box. And I hope you all have enjoyed this session. Also, you're all safe and take care. Bye bye. I'll end up this
Yeah,
session right now.
awesome. Thank you everyone for joining. You definitely need to join the Discord server of Coders Work. They are doing a lot of awesome work, so definitely join it. And thanks a lot for joining. Stay safe, wear mask.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you everyone.